Oh my God, I almost had a perfect intro. Welcome in, everybody, to episode 17 of Sundays with Sin. I just want to start off by saying a huge shout out to Fluffmeister over there with the host of 20 viewers. I genuinely appreciate that, and I hope you had a wonderful stream. Today, most of you already know my guest that I have here today, but for those of you who do not, I'm looking yellow as heck. But for those of you who do not know my guest, this is Mr. Cory Legendre. Cory, go ahead and introduce yourself. And
So,
thank you, Lauren, for the 2 gifted subs.
what an amazing start to
Yeah,
episode 17 of your show. Really
I
great start. Hi,
know.
everybody. I'm Cory Legendre. I'm 31 years old and I've been in the entertainment industry across basically 3 decades. And despite medical issues like surviving, congestive heart failure and degenerative disc and bone disease, I'm making my return to the industry basically last month. And so I'm a streamer, I'm a writer, I'm a singer, I'm an entertainer, and I'm a human being.
You are a human being. You're a very generous and kind human being.
Yeah,
You really,
yeah,
really
some
are.
people wouldn't. Some people would not agree.
Well, that's okay that they're wrong. So let's go ahead and dive into it a bit here. How long have you been in the entertainment industry?
Oh God.
I know we've
So
already
it
discussed all this
started.
stuff.
Sorry, I have bottles of water everywhere, and I'm like, which one do I grab? No,
I
my
understand.
mother, my mother, really thought, okay, he's gonna be something. He's gonna be something. And so she kept trying to shop me around to things, and it ended up in some Star Search type thing.
Hmm.
And so, yeah, since I was like 6 or 7 years old,
That's kind of crazy. What do you remember how what your first, I guess, like gig was? Like how you first got started?
um, local Maine television.
Okay.
um, and it was terrible. I hated everything about it. I didn't want to do it, but I knew if I did it, it was going to turn into something. So I did it because I
Yeah.
wasn't going to miss the opportunity. So,
Okay. And here we are, not so many years later, obviously, because we are young and in our prime.
uh
You have
yeah, I
just
am.
released
I'm only 21, right?
only 21, exactly. You're a gorgeous 21-year-olds.
Add
Uh,
10. Add
we
10.
add 10. There you go. But one of the things that, kind of brought us here today doing this podcast was that you actually just released a Christmas single called Presents for Everyone. Let's talk about that briefly. How are you
Yeah.
feeling? What caused you to want to make a Christmas song?
Oh Lord. My birthday fell on Thanksgiving this year. My birthday's November 23rd. And
Hmm.
it's been an interesting year. It's been a rough year in some ways. And I just was kind of like, hey, let's do something. And so, here is, let me actually make that so your audience can see it. Here
Yes.
is, the actual, I'm going to get fingerprints on the disc. And, the disc is actually really super, super simple, although the camera's not picking that up. No, it was just basically I hadn't done anything for a long time, and I reconnected with a friend who is like almost twice my age, sorry, who used to help me back half my life ago. And he said, "So why aren't you doing anything?" And I said, "Well, I don't know." And so we started writing the Christmas song.
Hmm.
Like I sat down and I started putting some things to paper. And because I still do that, I know everybody else, they have notes on their phone. When I'm writing important stuff, it goes in notebooks.
Yeah.
And so I started writing some stuff down and I sent it to him. And he said, "Well, what are you going to do with it?" And I said, I might record it for myself. And so I got with a band that we worked with for producing a lot of my music. And, they came through with some really beautiful sounding, like old fashioned classic Christmas sounding music.
Hmm.
And I laid the vocals and we sent it off to mastering, and And then I'm like, I guess, I did this for myself, so I guess I can enjoy it. But then I'm like, I'm not a fan of myself. I'm not going to go listen to this because, most artists are not fans of themselves. Most people cannot stand the sound of their own voice.
Mm-hmm.
And so all of the people surrounding me said, you have to release this. They said, it's time. And I'm like, are you sure? Because we can always shelve it and do it next year. And they're like, no, you have to do it now. And so I did. It was like I recorded it for myself to prove that I could still do it because it had been a few years.
Mm-hmm.
And then they're like, this is too good for you to not release. And so
You mentioned
I
it's
have
been
a
a few
Christmas
years.
single.
When was the last time you produced something that came out, music
Okay,
wise?
my last recording
Hi Sharky,
was
welcome in.
hi Sharky, welcome in and thank you. My last studio recording of my own was almost a decade ago.
Okay.
My last time performing live was about 6-ish years ago. So it's been a
Okay.
little while. It's
Yeah.
been a while.
Did you feel like whenever you started recording the Christmas song, is that what kind of got you back on your feet and inspired you for your next project coming?
Yes, yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah. I know we'll dive more into that later on. Um but the last album that you wrote, was there what was the album? Was there like a theme to it? Did you
You know,
have
you know what's sad? The last album, because I didn't plan on ending on that album, and it was kind of I was going to be doing a more entertainment than actual music show
Mhm.
after it. So the last album was actually all covers of just
Oh,
stuff
it
that I
was.
liked. It was just the stuff that I liked because it was going to go with the live show, and then I did a couple of dates of rehearsal, and my body was just not up to the task of knowing I was going to have to go on the road, so we decided not to.
How
And
many share
so
covers did you do?
I think there was two. I think there was two of her songs. There was two of her songs. Um, there were a couple of '80s songs in there. There was a Pink song in there,
Yeah.
and like people are like, "This is not going to sell," and I'm like, "I don't care." I said because they're going to hear these songs on stage. Sadly, that didn't happen. But it
Yeah.
was, it was the mentality of doing that for that, to go with what I was about to do.
Okay. Yeah.
I keep looking at
Now,
myself on the camera and I'm just like, where
I
where
do
do I
it
want to
too.
position myself?
You're fine. I look
And
at it.
this
I have a light
shirt,
that's making me look like super
uh,
orange right now.
I would love to be in a cotton shirt instead of this material, you
You
know.
could have worn cotton. I told you several times you could wear whatever you wanted to wear.
Well, then bring me a pop-up dressing room and I'll just change right here, right on the spot.
I'll send your comments and your questions to HR. HR is
Okay.
Negan, so don't expect it to get very far.
Well, damn it.
So you also do streaming too. So you're on Twitch for a few years, and we can talk more about it if you want to, or we can kind of
Yes,
glance over
yes.
it. Everybody that I've interviewed that's been on
Oh,
Twitch has lovely things to say about it, including Miss Lauren Shea, LA herself.
um, hi, if you're listening, Dan Clancy, go fuck yourself.
Amen.
Go fuck yourself. Um,
Respectfully and disrespectfully.
step step down. Step down. It's time.
Yeah.
I know you've only been CEO for a little over a year, but step down. You are making the company completely worse. I could run it better in my sleep. So again, fuck Dan Clancy
I think
and
my
Twitch.
7-year-old could run it better.
No, anybody could.
Yeah.
I mean, for people that don't know, I got banned from Twitch after getting hate rated. Yes, and then they didn't do anything about it. So yeah, fuck them. That
Mm-hmm.
and I don't swear a lot, guys. I don't. I
He
use it when
doesn't.
it's necessary. I use it when it's necessary. So yeah, yeah. Hi, Lady Sharky.
Oh,
Much love.
well, welcome in, guys. I definitely feel like that is the general consensus for everybody who has made the switch from Twitch to Kick specifically, is that it's definitely been a whole, fuck Twitch essentially has been like the whole
You
mantra.
know, there are people on there that I love, that they make their entire income there, and they're afraid to leave. And so I will, continue to promote and support them there.
Yeah,
The
same here.
platform itself, I can't get behind it. And Clancy was in my Twitter DMs, and then
Thank you for the
later
follow, Lady
in
Sharky.
my like, he added me. I got a friend request from the Twitch CEO on Discord, and like he kept me for a month before saying, "Well, we just have to listen to the system." Like he told me, he's like, "Oh, we'll get it fixed," and then like a month later, well, the systems say that you're banned for whatever reason, so you're banned for that reason, and it's like, no, I got banned for being hate rated, and whoever did the hate raid did some sort of stupid botting stuff, which happens rampantly on streaming platforms.
Yeah.
And
I have a few friends
because
that
of
have fallen
that,
victim
it
towards
was,
that recently.
that's why they banned me.
That is crazy. Now,
And
your other half,
yes,
um,
Chloe,
yes,
yes.
Chloe, she was also banned, wasn't she? Or were
Well,
you
I mean,
guys
we
always on the
shared,
same
we shared,
account?
we share the same account. So,
Okay.
actually, her Twitch still exists. Um, and she still sometimes watches a couple of people over there.
Yeah.
But I mean, she's never streamed from it. But the second if either of us did, they'd find it.
Yeah,
I mean, they're
yeah,
watching. They're watching.
they it's crazy that they can go ahead and track that kind of stuff, but they can't stop the people who are
Oh, they.
blatantly like breaking the rules and showing genitalia and shit all over the platform. And
Uh-huh.
they let certain people get away with
Artistic.
it, and then the other ones who are like, Lauren got banned or got a ban for wearing the same outfit Amaranth was wearing.
That's yeah. Anyway, that's
Yeah.
another story, and I'm not going to bash anybody. But I still don't. The one thing I don't understand in life is vaginal yeast beer. Um,
Yeah.
and if you
I
don't
don't
know what that
understand
is,
it
guys,
either.
if you don't know what that is, guys, look up Amaranth and look up pussy beer. I guess
Pussy.
you know that's. Oh my god, this is gonna become X-rated. You're gonna have to adults only this episode,
I am. I'm
but
definitely gonna have to
but
put a
it's a
warning label
thing,
on this
and you
episode.
guys are. This is the first time I've done an interview in a long time since I've been on camera.
I
And
feel
so,
honored.
but it's Twitch is not fair to people, and they pick favorites,
Yeah. How
and
was your
that's
experience? How's your experience been on other platforms? Because you've been on a few other platforms over
oh
the
my
time.
god. Mixer was the best. No
Yeah.
offense to Kick, I love you guys on Kick, but Mixer was great until it died, and I will always enjoy and remember that. Um, it's not fluff.
It's
This is the
not. He's
most
complained
uncomfortable
about
show.
it. He's complained about it
Like
like 10 times in the last half hour that we've been
we
talking.
we might take a halfway break, and I might actually change shirts.
We're fine with doing
That
that if you
because
want to.
no, this shirt is like made out of the worst material, and it's all staticky. I'm afraid if I touch my computer, I would like fry it at the moment. I'm sitting here in this staticky shirt. No,
Oh my
my experience
goodness.
on other platforms. I'm so glad you edit this stuff.
Oh, I don't
By the
edit
way,
the
Sin.
podcast.
Well, okay. Well, people are going to be really wondering about the chat dialogue. But anyway, that's why,
Oh,
guys, if you're not
the chat
here,
shows up on the video. I have the
but do
chat
they
showing
hear it
up
in
on the
the
video.
they're not going to see it in the audio though. So, but anyway,
No.
if
Yeah.
you guys are not here when it's live, be here when it's live. That's the best way to see a podcast. Okay, if they
Mm-hmm.
do it live, show up. Support my friend Sten here.
I
You
love
know,
you.
wherever side of the screen you
Other
are, I can't
side.
see you. This side,
Yep.
that one. Okay, that side. I only have your chat
I
up so
love
I can see it because I am way
you.
back against the back of the studio. So, but no, other platforms. Mixer was great. Trovo is trying too hard to be interesting, and they're gonna fail because of it. Um, YouTube, I'm a YouTube partner. I don't really care. And then there's Kick. I mean, I did do live spaces beta for a little while, and of course, at the time I was doing it, nobody was on there. It
Yeah.
was like I think 4 people had an account on the platform. So that was not very useful. Yeah, no, but Kick is where I'm at now, and I'll
Mm-hmm.
probably stay here. I think I'll stay here for a while. I mean, if Kick wants to hand me a contract, I mean, if anybody in this chat room wants to send a message to Eddie for me, you know, and let him know,
Send him a message for me too. I'm waiting on my check mark.
you know, yeah, let's send her check mark and get me my contract because I can't say too much more, but I've had a couple other up and coming platforms offer to sign me for money.
Oh, really? That's
So Kick,
interesting.
so Kick, just be aware that I want to stay here, but to do so, I might have to follow the money, and I hate to do
Hey,
that, but I might have to follow the money. We have to make a living somewhere.
absolutely, you do. I just want to just comment in here, Lady Sharky comments. Cory has done so much for me and my other half and can't thank him enough. We need more Corys. I
No, we don't.
100%. I
No, we
agree.
don't.
I agree. You are a genuinely like kind-hearted human being. I was sick in Atlanta and he was checking on me, making sure I was good and sending me like goodie baskets to make sure I had medicine and cough drops and I mean, him and Fluff were keeping me on my toes and making sure I was okay mentally and physically, like health wise. So huge shout out to
You
both
have
Cory
to.
and Fluff for taking care of me.
You have to. You have to take care of your friends.
You have
You have to
to. You
take care
guys
of
are
your
awesome
friends,
for it.
and so I do. You
Yeah.
know. No, I appreciate it, Lady
I
Sharky
agree, Lady
and
Sharky.
Sparky. You guys are both wonderful people, and they're across the pond, so
Oh, they
it's late
are.
for them. So they're staying
Yeah,
up
it
late
is.
to be here,
One of my best friends lives over across the pond. So
and
I'm all too
so
familiar with that time zone. UK. That's interesting. So
so
let's go and we'll get back to the streaming. Did you ever try D Live?
I have an account, and this one thing, and I say this to everybody: whether or not you want to go there, register your name and grab it there before somebody else gets it.
Yeah, we talked
Because
about
somebody else could
that.
do something bad with it. Somebody else could do something bad with it. So get your name. I have an account there. I think I went live there once, and I'm just like, yep, no, no,
Yeah.
no, we're good. And I left.
I
I think
created
I
an
ended like
account with
halfway through a stream.
LiveSpace. I created an account with LiveSpace just to get the name.
They're gonna be the most interesting one next to Kick,
Yeah.
and Arena will be in third place. They're very interesting. I've talked to their CEO a few times over at Arena. I've actually talked to the staff at LiveSpace a couple times too, but I've talked to the CEO of Arena um, 4 or 5 times for half an
Yeah.
hour or more. And so I would say the platforms to watch in 2024, obviously Kick, and then LiveSpace and Arena.
Mm-hmm.
Um, honorary mention SharePlay is another one that is going into beta, I think, in the coming weeks, or it has
I
just
haven't
gone
even
into
heard of
beta,
that
one or the
one.
other. I heard about that from my good friend Dusteria, who makes her living off of Twitch, and that's why she has not moved to another platform. Because if you're making your living on a platform,
Yeah.
it is a dramatic move to have to move because you don't know
Yeah,
what
it's
you might lose.
uprooting everything that you've built. You're uprooting everything you've built to go ahead and take that chance to go start anew somewhere else. For me, it was easier. I didn't really have all too much put into Twitch. I wasn't making any
No,
progress on Twitch. Here on Kick, Kick is
I
my
did.
home. You know what I mean? I've built something here on Kick. I do not plan on leaving.
I mean, I don't plan on leaving, but I know there's potential offers on the table because
Right.
I have two places that want to talk to me in January,
And that's
and
that's it's a case
both of
by
them
case.
have
It's different
said,
for everybody.
both of them have said there will be money involved. It will be a contract. So yeah, I mean, not to call you out, but hey, Lauren, if you see Eddie or talk to him, just let him know that there's somebody that's being slept on over here.
I'm excited for that. They're
Um,
gonna open up that program. Are you planning on trying to shoot for that program when they open it up to everybody?
they need to fix the numbers. It's unreachable for a lot of people.
Yeah.
It's unreachable for a lot of people that deserve it and that could use it.
Yeah, the viewership is what really kills us because sometimes it's like on podcast days we have the most views. Everybody's here for during the podcast and stuff, but trying to
Right.
achieve that 75 mark is like damn near impossible some days.
Yeah. And with me, like I went away, and did this Christmas single and I wasn't streaming.
Yeah.
And so I took this break from streaming for, I don't know, 6 weeks. Because I took a break before my birthday and then the Christmas thing happened and I'm like, I'm too busy. I mean, it's almost 6:30 and I'm absolutely exhausted.
I
Like
am
if we were not
too.
doing this, I could go to bed right now. Um, yeah,
Let's
fluff.
talk about those
Yeah.
numbers. Hi, Wheelman. Welcome in. Hope you're doing better today. Yeah, the Christmas song.
I
We're
could
gonna get
see.
into that, Lady Sharky. I'm excited. We actually did a giveaway. We'll be doing that after the podcast.
Yes,
We're
it
gonna do
is the
a
Amazon
we
gift card giveaway.
the Amazon gift card giveaway. I'm excited. So you took a break from a lot of things, and we talked about this briefly. Um, and oh yeah, Fluff does have a good point. How they set the numbers and half the partners don't hit those numbers. That is true. It is
Oh,
true.
I
There
would
are
love
several
to. We
several
should do a
partners who
deep
don't hit
dive.
it.
We should
Well,
do a deep dive. Like, if you would let me co-host an episode with you
yeah.
instead of just you interviewing, have
Hmm.
the two of us interview some people that were partners or that are partners, and like have the real discussion if they would be willing,
Yeah.
because there needs to be a more transparent dialogue. And this goes for any streaming platform, this goes for anywhere. But the things that we've seen, they vary a lot. That's all I can say is they vary a lot. They're not.
Yeah.
I guess we'll see if they change it when it goes public.
That would be my thing on it is that to go ahead and maybe make a more realistic number count, a more realistic
Mm-hmm.
like holding, a consistent viewership. Because it's something that a friend of mine said, actually we call each other family, Amaze. It's
Yes.
impact over the numbers. You know what I mean? It's about what you bring to the table, what you're bringing to your community. It's about what you are doing. And like Fluff said, he says, I firmly believe some of the partners don't need to hit the numbers
Yeah.
because of how
Yeah.
much good they bring to the platform, and that's valid.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it's it's not so much about the viewership that they can hold, it's about what they're doing, what kind of content they're bringing. There's so many different content creators out there and so
Oh,
much
completely.
untapped potential that's out there, and it's being glossed over essentially because they're not hitting a certain number metric.
Oh,
Where
that's, and I know.
I feel like if
Sorry,
they
go
if
ahead.
they no, you're fine. I feel like if they were to um maybe if staff was more aware, if people started, saying, putting people's names out there, for instance, saying like, oh, check out so and so, they do this every, such day, whatever it is. Um, and the staff actually came in and sat in on a stream and watched it. I think that if they started highlighting those specific people, to either help them get that viewership or to go ahead and just grant them, the achievement anyway, I feel like that would
No,
be a better approach to it. I feel like in most cases it is very unrealistic.
it's, and I'm sure you saw me like mouthing words to myself, while you were talking. But I was thinking, as you were saying that, I was thinking, and no, it's not those kind of metrics are not a cut and dry thing that can like, that should qualify somebody. Because, like, for one, there might be somebody that has hundreds of viewers but no subs. Like, I hate to say it, but, and this is very true. And since I'm, considered disabled myself with my health issues, don't come at me, the disability community, because you've tried to before, and so don't. But disabled people attract disabled people, and I hate to say that, and don't take that the wrong way, but disabled people do you know, attract disabled people. It does happen. And because
Yeah,
like
I could say that'd be
it
for
feels like
any group, really.
in streaming, especially, um, it's just like if they know it's going to be a safe space where their disability isn't going to be a problem because of the host, you
Hmm.
know. And so to answer in your chat, Wheelman, I appreciate that, and Sharky, no, just no. Um, I was building a Twitter competitor, guys. Like actually, people have seen videos of it. There's commercials of it online.
Yeah.
If you look up Spokelle, Spokelle, there are two commercials for it online, and we had some brilliant features that it would have been a Twitter/X killer. Um, but it was myself plus volunteer developers, and when they had to go back to work, it left it down to me and one person trying to build this platform. I mean, I have the servers. I'm renting the server. I pay every month for the
Yeah,
servers to
we
launch
talked
this
about
thing.
that, yeah.
Yeah, I'm paying every month for servers to launch this thing, and it's just waiting to be finished. Um, so, look up the commercials though, Fluff. But the commercials are really good, and some of the stuff that I'm working on it's beautiful. But as far as me launching, which is answering Sharky's question, or me launching my own streaming platform before Kick existed, I talked to probably 20 or 30 people between the server industry and the streaming industry. I actually tried to hire a couple people that used to work in corporate offices at Twitch. And I decided it wasn't for me. I decided the investment involved in the streaming platform was more of a risk than I wanted to take on.
More risk than reward.
Exactly. I mean, you could
Yeah.
drop millions of dollars, and I don't have the capital for that.
Hmm.
Even the business Legendre Media Inc. has nowhere near the capital for that at all. And I don't think they're going to give somebody who, other than releasing albums and being a CEO of a small, you know, company. I mean, it is a corporation. They're not going to say, "Oh, here's $1 million loan." Like nobody's going to take that kind of risk
Yeah.
on a smaller, operation. And so it just wouldn't be worth it unless the people that were streaming in the beginning were all willing to put, even if it was just like a couple of bucks a month. Just be
Yeah.
like, hey, you go live as much as you want, but just give a couple bucks a month in. And then once we get advertisers, you'll get it back. Or once we get whatever, you'll get it back. But if you want to see this succeed, I mean, the Kick success story is because, they had that Eddie already had money. The people that Eddie works with already had money.
Hmm.
Kick could run at a loss for the next 5 years and be fine, because they have other business, stake, for example,
Yeah.
that makes the money financially to keep Kick alive.
I didn't know On Fire built websites, Fluff. I might have to reach out to you about getting something set
No,
up.
I did not know. I did not know that. I will keep
Yeah.
that in my notes. I used to do it professionally. I do a bunch of graphic stuff as
Yeah.
well. You'll see at some point later, you guys will see the special surprise.
Yes, we'll get to
But
that
that's
here
after we
soon.
talk about something else, and it's beautiful. It's
It
emotional. I'm already
is.
like instantly. I'm like, okay, we're thinking about the video. Get emotional.
Rightfully so. Okay, well, let's dial this in then. So let's get back to before, streaming on different platforms. You took a break for a while from life in general because you were having some health complications. Walk me through
Yes.
that a bit.
Oh, okay.
As
So
much as you want.
heart failure is a bitch.
Heart failure?
Heart failure is a bitch, especially in your 20s. October 2019. They told me I wouldn't be here to see 30. I'm 31, so the doctors were wrong. And then I have the degenerative disc and bone disease, and both of these things are hereditary. in the bloodline all the way back, just never as young as with myself. And so I had to spend a lot of time on recovery. There was a lot of time in and out of the hospital. There was a lot of time stuck in bed. I mean, I still, when I do my live streams, not to go back to live streams, but when I do my live streams, I use a 3D avatar and I'm in bed because that's where, if I know I'm going to be live for like yesterday, 6 hours, I can't sit at a workstation for 6 hours. It's just not possible,
Yeah.
for me to sit at a workstation for 6 hours.
Oh,
Excuse
hi,
me.
on fire. Welcome. So then
I'm not going to do,
go ahead.
I said, I'm not going to do the rest of this interview shirtless, but it's very tempting. Just
we could
because this
always
shirt.
we could always try the new Twitch trend, do the censor bar on you.
Oh God. Yeah. Yeah. Let's just.
Fluff is all for it. He's
But
excited
anyway,
for shirtless Cory.
no. You don't want to see that. You don't want to see that, Fluff. Nobody wants to see that. Now, like 7 years ago, I mean, I probably would have had one hell of an OnlyFans because I was looking pretty good then. But now, I mean, dieting is coming up, and medical issues to continue that. And, getting better and improving with the medical issues I face. Diet is a large part of it, and
Yeah.
I'm going to continue to constantly reform it until I feel that I'm at a place where it's where I need to be,
Cory,
or where I feel.
respectfully, the last like 7 meals you've sent me are on nobody's diet, sir.
Oh no, not at all. It's Christmas week, and I've been just. Oh, you don't know how crazy it is here. Like we had gifts going to people, literally presents for everyone. Do you know how many people like that I know in real life that have called me on the phone or that have texted me and they like literally use the song title in something that when they're talking about Christmas?
Oh, I can only
Like it's
imagine.
like it's gonna be like the Christmas Rickroll, and I'm never gonna be able to escape it. You know?
You did this. You created this.
No, I did, but the thing is,
Yeah.
they're never gonna give it up. Instead of never gonna give you up, they're never gonna give it up, and
Yeah,
I'm
I
gonna be
got
hearing it for
that.
the rest of my life.
That
Me
was
hearing it for the
good.
rest of my life. So yeah, occasionally I have a good one or two.
May or may not have used it in numerous TikToks.
I know, Lady Sharky. You kept TikToking it, and you were like TikTok live with my album art behind you, and it just that's such a it's
That's
such a
awesome.
surreal fucking feeling. Like half my life ago, I did this, actively, like full time, and it was like a thing, and people would run up to me, like I would be in another state, and people would run up to me and ask me to sign something, and it was crazy. But like social media wasn't where it is today.
Yeah.
And so to like see people do lives and they're like, oh, here's your album cover in the background and we're playing your song. It's like, oh, holy shit. It's a totally different feeling. Like doing music today is a totally different feeling. And I would love to, like you had mentioned, Amaze. I would love, 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 love to work with him on something. I would.
You should hit him, dude.
I don't
I'll
really know
slide your
him.
name his way.
Like I watch the streams, but I don't really know him.
He's an
But
amazing
I'm very
guy. He really, I do. I'll speak on that briefly because I plan on getting him on here, and I plan on like he also has a sort of podcast kind of thing that he does called the Amazing Table on Thursdays, and I just found out that I'm gonna be going on the table soon, and he'll be coming
well,
on
that's
Sundays with
cool.
Sin actually. But I do want to say genuinely, out of all my years of just meeting people in general, hello, pretty kitty. Out of
Yes,
all
this
my
is
years of
Ruby,
meeting
guys.
people, Amaze is 100% who you see online. He is exactly that person in person too. Like what you see is what you get, and I love that. He is an amazing individual.
I
Um,
I've
and
seen enough to know
yeah,
it, even without
yeah,
knowing him personally. So, guys,
he's.
yes, this is Ruby, who I knew was going to crash the stream, and now
It's
she's
okay. I
gonna go
got my
away.
cat tree back here. I
He
was
is
just waiting for one of them to come down here and mess with me.
and now I have cat fur all over me. He is a rescue that was kind of abandoned when pregnant. She was abandoned when pregnant. We took her in. We took care
Oh.
of her. We
Oh,
raised her
that's the
babies. Her
mama?
three babies. That's the mama. Her three
Okay.
children, Milo, Otis, and sister. Yes, she only goes by sister. They have
Otis.
cat houses out in the backyard, and they come in and out a little bit when they want to, but they prefer to be outside. And Mama prefers to be inside. So Ruby's inside, her kids are outside, and they come in when they
Where
want.
can
And then
I get that arrangement with my kids?
we have we have I don't think you could put your kids outside. I don't think if you put a doghouse in
No?
your backyard and put your
Damn.
kid
All
in it, I
right.
don't think Child Protective Services would be too happy.
They don't have to know about it, do they?
I mean, what, don't you have neighbors?
I
All it
do, but
takes is one phone call. All it takes is one phone call, and you don't want that
why you
crap
gotta
up in
rain
their
on my
nest.
parade, Cory? Jeez.
Hey, I'm honest, you know.
So,
But
excuse me. Let's talk about this new. Well, what do you want? Let's talk about. Okay, before we get to the new album, let's talk about the
yeah,
coloring books.
yeah, because we just saw the cat, so let's start off
Yes.
actually.
So these coloring books, a
With
little bit of background. These are in honor of your mother, who recently passed away
yes,
in
so
August, and these are books that
these
she wanted to get published, right?
yes, so these coloring books. This is one of them. This is the Cats and Kittens,
The one I'm getting my
and
daughter.
then this one is Flutter by Butterfly and Sparky's Pals, which is named after Mom's Yorkie Sparky, which is still living in Maine with Mom's roommate that she had that is living in our house in Maine. Um, so these coloring books, Legendre Media Inc., the company that publishes them, and the company that we have a publishing license and a license as a record label,
Hmm.
it was held hostage from us by bad handlers because back when I was younger, Mom didn't think she could run a company like a corporation. And so we trusted management that we probably shouldn't have trusted.
Yeah.
And they took advantage of it. And we got the company back in October. Sadly, Mom was not there to celebrate that with us. We got it back in October because the person that was the handler caught. Can't got cat. They got cat. They got caught for multiple forms or multiple cases of tax fraud, and we'll be going. If they haven't already, they will be going to federal prisons. So it's another person as well. See, I'm going to say a word I shouldn't say because I said it about Dan Clancy earlier. So fuck him, of course. But to my handlers that held the company hostage, from myself, from my mother, the people at your operation, your version of a company that had my last name on it, telling my mother her projects weren't good enough, telling me the things I wanted to do didn't matter. Fuck you, and I'm glad you're going to prison. I hope you see this,
Amen.
and it'll be interesting to see how if you become the prison bitch. So
Amen.
I run
Gosh,
the
Cory,
company now. I'm the CEO, so
I
you'll
love
never have
it.
another say again, and that is why we have these wonderful books because my mother's ideas were amazing. And the last page of every book is this very, very beautiful. Please tell me if the camera is wrong.
Oh
Very
yeah.
beautiful
It's really
tribute to my mother.
darkened, but yes.
Um, let me see if I can turn on this light, which might blind me.
There we go. Back up just a bit.
Okay.
We can kind of see him.
But yeah, there's that
Yeah.
beautiful photo, and that light is going to blind me. But yeah,
Story of my life.
these have some really, really adorable.
Yeah.
Um,
I'm
I'm
really
just gonna
excited by the
quickly,
cats and kittens one. My daughter's gonna lose her fucking mind.
let's find one. Oh, this is
Oh
too
yeah, the
cute.
puppies in the basket.
Yes, so that one's too cute. Let me put that down there. Out of the butterfly one, some of them are like really just detailed butterfly. Um, Let me find. There's a couple of others that are really charming. I have yet to sit down and color one. I actually don't know if I emotionally am ready to yet, if that makes any
Yeah.
sense. And then there's the pages with little butterflies. So that's that one. And then let's go into the cats and kittens. Let me find something really, really wonderful. Oh, this one's charming. This is a random page, but it's charming.
Aw,
It's
they're
so
so
charming.
cute.
Actually, this one on the back cover, the cat looking up at the tree,
Oh yeah, it's adorable.
I
See,
think
my daughter
is
is
just
obsessed with
the
cats, so she would love
most
all this
charming.
shit.
This one too. Cats on the fence.
So adorable.
Yes. So
I
I'm
love
excited
it.
about those. Those are available, guys, at legenremedia.com. We'll send you to Amazon US or Amazon UK. We'll be talking to Barnes and Noble in January about getting them in stores, hopefully. If anybody wants a copy directly, I have them too. Boxes of them. That was actually an accident. They got printed and they were supposed to. There was boxes going to Amazon, boxes going to stores. Like a couple stores back home in Maine ordered them as soon as they knew they were coming. And one of the boxes that was supposed to go to Amazon came to me. And I'm like, what do I do with this? There's like a couple hundred of each book. Like it just showed up at my door. I had nothing to do with it. And I'm like, yeah, I wanted a review copy, but no,
Yeah,
I ended up with hundreds of them. I've commissioned some to local stores around here too.
that's pretty
Because
cool.
because I have to, I mean, I live in a very small, comfortable place. I like having. I don't know if anybody has that, like, doesn't mind that, oh, here's my desk and then here's another piece of furniture and over here's another piece of furniture.
Yeah, the
I
nice
just I
like
like my
tight knit,
space
cozy feeling.
to be very cozy, and right
Yeah,
now against this, it is very, very cozy because this takes up. I should send a picture earlier. It takes up half
you
the studio
did.
room.
It does. It does. It was actually kind of funny to see. I was like, you're so adorable.
And when you go to put it up, these backdrops that I love, when you go to
Yeah,
put it up, you have to like fold it over in this really weird way and then shove it in a bag. And I'm too short. These things are about 7 foot tall or wide, depending on which orientation you have it. I don't have the arm span to deal with something that's almost 7 foot. It doesn't work. So this will be up,
I don't
and
either.
Chloe will get home later. Chloe will get home later, and she's gonna have to put it up.
There you
And
go.
she knows this. She's the one that she was like, I was getting ready earlier for tonight, and she's the one that she like got it all up. She got it up. She got the camera up on the tripod. All of that.
Yeah.
Like, so props to her for being not
We
only
love it.
the
We love how
best
supportive she is.
person, being the best person to have ever been with. I appreciate that I have been with her, since 2017.
Yeah.
Um, and I appreciate the fact that she's a massive part of Legendre Media Inc. She jumped right into one of the open roles when the board approved it. I mean, she has been a massive part of everything that has been going on, and it's
That's
beautiful.
awesome.
Her streaming commitment. She streamed Forza 7 days a week, 7 days a week in the mornings with her coffee for over a little bit over 4 years without. She missed a total of like 14 or 15 days in 4 years.
That's insane. That's dedication. That's insane.
And
It
then
really
this
is.
fall, she decided it's time for a break. She was like, I
Yeah,
think I'm
absolutely.
ready to have a break. And I'm like, good, then do it. And so she went to weekends only. And then after that, she's like, I've been playing Forza a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Why don't we just go back to the co-ops? Because we co-op it on Thursdays, which those streams are coming back in January, guys.
That's
So
exciting.
every Thursday morning, you'll get to see Chloe and I co-op. We're working on getting her 3D avatar ready, and we're working on getting our new microphones ready so we can play, because we'll be in different rooms. We have 2 capture cards coming that
Ugh.
support. So like this is funny. We have 2 capture cards coming that are totally future proof. They support up to 8K at 60 frames per second and full not just capture and pass. Oh, sorry, not just pass through, but pass through and capture of 4K at 120 with full HDR, full Dolby Vision, full Dolby Atmos. So,
Mm-hmm.
not that streaming platforms support that right now, but when they do, I will have capture cards that will be able to pass through the same experience as if you were playing it with Dolby Atmos, with Dolby Vision on your own TV. So our
There you
streams will be
go.
that level of quality. And I don't want to tell you how much those capture cards cost, but you could buy more than two iPhones for that cost.
Yep, you
More
sure
than more
can.
than more. You could buy more than two iPhone Pro Max models for that price. And I'm sure you guys know that the iPhone Pro Max models start around, what is it, $1,100, I think.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah,
Around there.
the capture cards were more than an iPhone Pro Max per piece. I was very disappointed in the expense, but I spare no expense for the stream. I
Yeah.
like to create high quality content, and so
Yes.
that's part of
Speaking of projects coming up and stuff, you do have a new album coming out.
it.
I'm gonna switch screens real quick so chat's not gonna be able to hear us. We're gonna go ahead and play this little snippet for you guys.
Okay,
Just hang
so
tight
before
here. Okay, go
wait a
ahead.
second. Okay, so guys, before this is the surprise that I tweeted about, and before she plays it, this is this is the first look. This is the first time the public has heard anything from this. This is a very first look, a very early first look, where you get to hear the instrumental of the opening song from the album, and you get to hear two lines of it. But I think they're the most. Oh God, I think those two lines in my writing from the chorus of the song are the most beautiful and most important lines
Yeah,
of the song. So guys, go ahead and
I
enjoy the
agree.
video. Go ahead,
All
Sin.
right, give me one
I wanted to
second
say that.
here. Absolutely. Hold on one moment.
She lived up to a vow. Now she's dressed in black.
It's so beautiful, Cory. I'm so
And
excited for
that's
everybody to see that.
and that's the first look at Reunited, everybody, the new album that I'm putting out coming in 2024. We have not pinned an exact release date. I have release dates in mind.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if we don't get the album out, I really want to do something. My mother's birthday falls, and it'll be, mom's first birthday since she passed. But her birthday is April 19th, and if we're not able to get the album out by April 19th, I will release the first single by April 19th. So that is the first confirmation you guys can get that if the album is not ready by mom's birthday, we will at least have a single on April 19th.
I'm excited for it. And this
And the
whole
album,
album is dedicated to both your parents,
yes,
right?
yes, we lost my dad back in 2012 and mom this past August. And I switched to your screen to watch the video as you were playing it. And I'm like, I was actually trying not to cry. The
Mm-hmm.
photos of mom and I, and of course the photos of mom when she was younger and dad when he was younger.
Yeah.
It's just, and that one photo of them, that was them together. That photo shares, it's got this cute little story. And I'll tell this story again when the album comes out. But I'm sure you guys saw that picture and you're like, well, what the hell is going on with this shirt? And it was mom and dad. One of them was gifted this t shirt that was a million sizes too big, and they joked they both fit in it. And so they both got in it, and somebody took that picture. And it's the most loving picture of them because you can see dad smiling and just, you can tell he was laughing. And
Yeah.
they just had a beautiful love. They were married just shy of 50 years, but they were together a total of 50 years at the time of his passing in 2012. So this album starts with Dressed in Black. There's 7 other songs. Mama's Coming Home is going to be the hardest one for me to record. I wrote
Yeah.
that. I wrote that the last time I ever spoke to my mother. I wrote that night. I did not know that it was going to be the last time I was ever going to speak to her.
Yeah. That'd
And
be really
so
tough on you too.
it is.
Yeah. We've
It
talked about it
is.
briefly.
No, it is. It's going to be very emotional.
Yeah. I got emotional just listening to a snippet.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? I didn't even get to meet
hit,
her.
I hit a little emotional patch right here, right now. I apologize.
No, don't
Guys, no,
apologize for
people
being.
have never seen me as a vulnerable human being, and I am. I
Yeah.
am. And I'm sorry. Merry Christmas, everybody. So keep your Christmas cheer. Don't be like not Christmassy because I had an emotional moment, but it's true. It's a very sad.
Christmas isn't just about being happy. It's also about remembering good memories. And some people have
It
sad moments in
is.
their Christmases
It
too, and
is.
that's okay. That's
It is.
okay.
I mean, it's the first one where both my parents are gone, and that's going to be challenging. And that's all I'm going to say on
Hi,
that,
wee
just
wee.
because I don't want to dip. I don't want to dip further into the emotional part of things. But
I
no,
understand.
there's 8 beautiful songs. Dressed in
Mm-hmm.
Black, Mama's Coming Home. But they're not all sad songs. Like Dressed in
Yeah,
Black, which you heard the line from the song, she lived up to her vow, now she's dressed in black. And that's a very deep line.
it is.
And if you listen to the music and you weren't paying attention to the words, you don't realize it's an emotional song. You
Mm-hmm.
have to listen to the words to get it. And we did that intentionally, and a lot of them are that way. But then we end the album with positive songs. There's one. I'm not leaking the entire track list. You guys will get the track list next year.
We're gonna definitely do a
Just
part 2. We're gonna
marketing,
follow up after the
marketing.
album is released for sure.
It's funny because even though I'm CEO of Legendre Media Inc. and it's our company putting this out, um, there's a board. There's a board of directors because
Mm.
corporations in America have to have that. So things that I do have to get voted on, I can't just say, "Oh, here's the track list." Like there are limits of what I'm allowed to promote now.
Yeah.
Even though it's my album, there's limits of what I'm allowed to promote now because it went to a vote. And they said that I need to wait till the new year to release the track list. So I was able to get permission to give you guys that stuff tonight. And yeah, no. So
I
that
appreciate
the
you
Dressed in
sharing it with
Black,
us.
yeah, the first look, guys, the first look.
The
It's
first look at
nobody else
it. It's like a huge
has
sneak
seen
peek.
anything from Reunited anywhere, and the video for it on YouTube is scheduled to go live at 7 p.m. So it'll go live on YouTube and I think Twitter around 7:10 p.m. So that was
Okay.
timed around it. So the first look was here. And if you guys want to go back and revisit the trailer for Reunited, just search
We'll post
Cory
that on
Legendre
Twitter.
Reunited
We can
on YouTube,
we
or
can post a
you'll
link
see it
on
on
Twitter.
you'll see it on my Twitter. It'll actually get
Yeah,
posted to
absolutely.
Twitter. It's actually scheduled to post automatically in 15 minutes. So
There you go.
yeah,
Well,
that's exciting.
as we get close to like the end of the whole, the podcast segment
Yeah,
of this,
how did this hour
it,
happen like
dude, it
this?
flies by when we talk. I told you. I
I
told
was I was
you.
freaked out at the beginning. To the audience, I was
I
freaked out at the
know.
beginning. That I was like, back when I was doing interviews when I was younger, if you go on like a local talk show, you're on there like for 5 or 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Now people do podcasts and you're on there for an hour, and I'm like, I'm used to doing 5, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, and then it's over, and I'm like, we're not gonna fill an hour. No way. And here we are. So yeah, go ahead. Go ahead. I'm ready for
See,
this.
this is the difference about my podcast. I bring on anybody who wants to come on, introduce us, learn about you. If you got a cool story about your life, if you have a talent you want to share, everything of the sort. And when me and Cory first met, I knew right off the bat he was a very interesting individual. And no, it wasn't the 2 hour long phone call I got sucked into on accident. But that did definitely add to it. But
Yeah.
as we tidy this up, it has been an absolute joy having you on the podcast. For
Shut
the
up.
last bit, for the
The-
last bit
I
of
am
this,
I am no different than you. We are all human beings. We are all equal, guys. Remember that. Every one of you in the chat, every one of you that listens to this podcast, none of you are better than anybody else. None of you are each other's competition. You guys are all equals. We are all human beings. We all
Absolutely.
deserve that. And the things that I say at the end of my stream, and Sin, I'm sorry for doing this, and I'm going to try to speed that up.
You're fine.
So at the end of my streams, I say 4 things. I tell people, go out there, pay it forward, even if it means buying the coffee for the person in line in front of you or behind you. Little gestures can change a person's life. My second thing is reach out to your loved ones, your friends, your family, check on people. Reach out to them. Just if you can go visit them, go visit them. If you can call them, call them. You never know when your time is going to come or theirs is, so don't waste it. And the third thing, and this is funny, and I added it humorously after somebody pissed me off in the stream,
Mm-hmm.
because they were being terrible in stream, like they were being a terrible human being, just saying things people shouldn't say. And so I added the third thing I said for my stream is I added, don't be a fucking terrible human being. It doesn't look good on you. It doesn't look good on anyone. And finally,
Amen.
always strive to make a dent in the universe.
I love that.
Yeah,
I
every
say
stream.
always try to be
Every
better,
stream.
at least 1% better than you were the day before.
See, that's beautiful too. That and the always make a dent in the universe is equal, and that's not really, that's stolen from, not stolen, but I mean borrowed from Steve Jobs, because
Yeah.
that was his thing. He said, we're here to either do nothing or make a dent in the universe. Which are you going to do? So, like I've always told people, strive to make a dent in the universe.
Absolutely. I love that. Well, thank you for that, Cory. And
Thanks.
lastly, the last part I started asking people was that did you have any questions for me or about my podcast or anything that you don't already know? I asked this now because one time I didn't ask, and the person talked to me after the podcast. I was like, I had questions for you. And I'm like, I am so sorry I didn't ask you. If you don't have any,
Okay.
it's fine. We
Um,
talk on a daily basis, so I understand.
when when is your first album coming out? Um, no. Half joking. When is your first album and or book coming out? Or have you
Sorry, I
ever
am
started
choking
write?
right now.
Oh, don't choke. But
Um,
I mean, have you ever thought about writing a book or doing an album or any
you
of
know
that?
what is so funny that you say that is that two things actually. One,
You've already written the
Dubs.
book?
No, I'm in the process of writing a book actually. I started writing
Oh,
about
that's
my
good.
life.
Call me.
It's there's a couple parts to it. But yes, I have. I started writing the book. I'm in the rough draft phase where I'm just writing everything out. I'm about halfway through with it of where I want to be at with it. So yes, I think by 2024, I think I'm going to publish my first book.
Well,
I think so.
I mean, shop it around to places.
Yeah,
But if something does come up and you need a guaranteed, I want this out there,
yeah.
um, Legendre Media Inc. We are a licensed publisher in the United States, as well as a
Mm-hmm.
licensed record label in the United States, and I would be honored for you to submit your work to us.
Oh,
As
yeah,
CEO
we'll
of the
talk about
company, I
that
would
for
be honored.
sure.
I'm not the one that reviews the books.
Yeah.
There's somebody that's actually hired to do that.
Mm-hmm.
I think they start mid-January, because we start accepting manuscripts and drafts from the public
Yeah.
for books. I think it's the last week in January, and then we start accepting for artists that need somebody to get their music out there, get it on CD, get it on vinyl, get it everywhere.
Yeah.
We start accepting those late spring to early
Okay.
summer is kind of the timeline.
We'll have
So
to talk about that then.
we're
Yeah.
going to be publishing books for everybody. We're going to, I
I
mean,
just want to say on a side note
don't,
real quick, Wes, no, it is not called Bad Girl. I do want to sit here and give you a little side note. I seen what you've been doing recently. Please behave yourself today. Okay. I just saw what you were doing in other chats. Behave yourself. I will end stream.
That is funny that you
um,
have to tell somebody that. But no, we will be, this isn't just to publish stuff with mom's stuff or stuff of mine or any of that. Um, we hold rights to a couple of artists' work from, that, like, my mother was the caregiver
mhm.
for a very well-known main artist, Vern Bro, and we own the rights to all his work. And he paints, or before he passed, he painted like architectural grade paintings of ships. Like the lines were just so absolutely perfect
Yeah.
because and everything was to perfect scale. And he also does like kids on the beach and some abstracts, and so we have the rights to all of those, and we're going to be doing some coffee table books to honor his memory as well, because I got to teach him. He was in his 80s, late 70s, early 80s when I met him, and when mom started caregiving and
Yeah.
cleaning his house. And I taught him how to use his first computer, and he loved it.
Oh, cool.
And so we got when he passed, he left us the rights to his art.
Oh, that's
And so
awesome.
I think to revive his memory too,
Yeah.
um, I think coffee table books of that, that's in the pipeline. So for people that are
Yeah.
artists, like, oh, you draw and you want your art in a coffee table book, you know, send us an email, publishing at legendremedia.com.
I actually
Anybody,
have some clients that actually like
anybody,
legitimately might be interested, and I am really flabbergasted at how we are just now talking about this on a podcast, and we've been talking for the last 3 weeks on a daily basis.
no,
And
seriously,
like
it's because,
how
do
did
you
we
know
just I
how,
told you going into this too, you were curious about like how the questions were gonna go, and I was like, well, I'm gonna ask you things that I already know the answer to, but you'd be surprised, we might find something that we haven't discussed. And lo and behold, at the very end of
this
the
is going to
podcast, we're
be,
finding something we never talked about. Well, welcome
this
in,
is,
Black Goat, welcome in.
this is going to be your longest episode, but I think, I mean, there are moments that can be cut, you know, so that's
No, I'm
fine.
keeping it all. It's real, it's authentic, and I love it. I love it.
Uh, Real
But
Cory Luzerne,
where
it's a little wild, but I do want to say it, seriously, publishing at legendremedia.com. I do have access
yes.
to it. And so if anybody has something that they want somebody to look over, send it
Yes.
there, that email address, send it there now before the person starts their job. And then I'll get to like look over it before they do. And
Okay.
so that might give a little more pull. I mean, I am the CEO, so I mean, doesn't that mean something? I fell into
It
that by
does.
accident. Somebody goes to prison for tax fraud. I become a CEO. Um, I fell into it by accident. Like when they called me and said you were voted in by the remainder of the board to become CEO, I'm like, repeat that, and they repeated it. I'm like, huh? Me, CEO? Like I was on video chat with them, and I was in an oversized T-shirt and comfortable pants. And tonight
Mm.
I'm dressed up. You can't even see the lower half of me, and I'm in suit pants. I mean,
Oh
this
my
is
God.
the
That's funny.
insanity.
Oh, Lauren,
But
thank you for the
thank
gifted
you,
stub to Lady
thank you,
Sharky. It's a
Lauren.
beautiful gifted too. Thank you.
And so for me, it's like I fell into CEO by accident, and I don't plan on staying there forever. Because that's not my thing. It's not my thing. I would love to find somebody
Thank you though.
qualified. I would love to find somebody qualified in business. I mean, I know I ran computer shops for years. Another thing we didn't talk about, you could
All
really
right.
just like do a
You
double
you
feature,
pulled my leg enough. I'll be a CEO. Okay, fine. Stop
Yeah,
stop
okay,
begging.
okay. I mean, the pay's not great, you know. When you take over, when you end up taking over a company that the person running it goes away for tax fraud, you can only imagine how bad the books were. When it got handed over to me, and
Yeah.
myself and the accountant they had, we told them to leave.
Yeah.
Like that was my first duty as CEO, is I handed them a letter saying, I
Sorry,
handed
you
them
no
a
longer
virtual
work
letter.
here.
Sorry, you no longer work here. You
Yeah.
obviously knew what was going on. And the
Oh,
fact that you got away with it's criminal. I believe you should be put away too. I was that
Wheelman with
kind
the
of person.
gifted 5. Thank you. What are you guys
I was
doing?
I was that
To
kind of
wee
person.
wee. I didn't mean to
And
interrupt you. I'm
so,
sorry. Apparently, Wheelman wanted to go ahead and throw some gifted. I really
well,
appreciate that. And that's to
well,
Kesper, Tuba, and Wes Wee. You're amazing.
see here.
Kickmas. I love you guys. Yes. Merry
Let's see
Kickmas.
here. There we
Oh
go.
my gosh.
Okay.
And Cory with the 5 gifted. What the fuck
Hi
are you
guys.
guys doing?
That's why I was
I
leaned in.
love
That's why I
you.
looked
I
so
love you. I
terrible.
love you. I love you.
This camera, as Lauren may know, this camera, like, if you don't look good, it shows it. I'm sure you know that, Lauren. But no, falling
Oh
into
yeah, because you got
CEO
the
because
same
of that.
camera that Lauren
Yes,
got.
we both have that Sony.
Yeah.
And so it's a great camera, but no, I don't, Lauren.
I told him he
I
looks
look,
amazing. He doesn't want to listen to me
I,
tonight. We're about to virtually fight each other through the camera.
the light, I am so glad, I'm so glad that the lighting in here is actually warm lighting because if I was
Yeah.
under white lighting, you would like full white lighting, you would actually see the gray that's in my hair. So there is this. I'm grateful, and I'm sitting at a position where also the light is directly hitting it, so you don't notice it. I just look like a really light
I love you
blonde, and
too,
it's
Wheelman. Thank you.
yeah. I love
Lauren
all of
has a
you
good point,
guys.
actually. I wanted to go ahead and ask you this. We've talked briefly about, the camera and possibly the real life, the cam for the streams. You're a 3D avatar streamer, which we love that. But have you put any more thought into the possibility of doing actual like camera streams?
Some just chatting, probably, but they'll be
Yeah?
like for an hour or something. My
Oh
gaming
my God,
streams are forever
Fluff.
gonna stay. My for my gaming streams are gonna stay with the avatar, and that's again back to my medical issues.
Yeah.
Um, like after I do this, my body will be tired. I
Yeah.
will lay down. I will get comfortable. I might stream tonight though, because Chloe's supposed to be at like two Christmas Eve parties after her family one, so
Oh my
I might not get to go to
goodness.
bed early. But like for me, like recording the music too, I have to stand to do that, and then I have a stool that I can kind of sit on, but you can't really sit and sing. Professional musicians really know that's not good.
Yeah.
You're gonna sound worse if you sit and sing. But because of the medical issues, like I have balance issues, I can't stand for as long as I'd like to. And like sitting at my desk
I have balance issues too, but I'm
is
just overweight. That's what mine
my
is.
balance issues are just like I'm so glad I live in a place where everything is down one hall. You
Yeah.
know, but no, seriously, like I do plan on doing more cam stuff, but and don't take that way. Nobody clip that and use that for anything stuff.
No
Okay, none
promises.
of that. None of that.
No
Because
promises.
I worded that terribly.
Oh
Um,
my God. Wheelman goes, I have balance
well,
issues too. It's called my bottom half is numb.
yeah,
For anybody
it's
listening to this
tough.
later on the Spotify recording, Wheelman is a lovely member in my community and my little family. And it is Wheelman because he is in a wheelchair. So he cracks a lot
It is
of self deprecating jokes about his wheelchair. I
is
love you
it is
too.
tough. It is tough. I sympathize and empathize with you, Wheelman. I almost called you Mealman. Okay, that's your alter
Mealman.
ego now. Your
Would
alter
that be
ego
the
now is
equivalent of
Meal.
Meals on Wheels? I'm sorry, that was bad.
That
That
was
was
terrible.
I'm editing that out. What wee wee. Thank you for the 5
It
gifted.
was it was
You guys are
hilarious,
so
but it was
sweet. I
terrible.
love you guys. I think we hit our
But no,
daily too.
Wheelman, seriously, it's all my sympathy and all my empathy because after the heart stuff, I had very sporadic feeling in my legs where sometimes I just couldn't
I
feel them at
do.
all. And then
Yeah.
sometimes I couldn't feel them at all. Sometimes it was like, okay, I could feel them, but it was uncomfortable or I was having nerve pain and stuff. And so, yeah, in the beginning, Fluff, she did. On the episode I'm on, the episode that like my fans are gonna later listen to, and they're gonna be like, "Oh my god, it got worse than Radio Bedroom." Another thing we
It
didn't
got worse
talk
than
about.
pussy beer.
Right. Well, I did say that earlier. So, oh my God. But see that I probably would have said that on Radio Bedroom. Yeah, I also hosted radio, guys.
Oh
I also
God.
hosted radio for like a long time, but that's for another day. We'll do a tribute. We'll do like a half
We
hour
are.
version. We'll
We're
do a half
definitely
hour
gonna do
version.
a part two of a
Not
podcast of this.
maybe we'll do a half an hour, like maybe not on a Sunday. That's just an out of the blue. We'll just get together and do this. And it'll be a special episode that's
Yeah.
shorter because there's not as much I want to say about that.
Cory, we can't do a
Everybody,
shorter episode. We can't. We can't even have a short phone conversation.
we could do a we could do a short
You're really shooting past the fucking stars, my guy. Like it's impossible. It is
No, I
literally
fucking talk.
impossible. Huh?
I fucking talk. That's what it is.
I know
And
you
you know,
do. I know
like
you. We talk
you know,
together. We just sit here and we keep talking, guys. I want
like
you to know that our average phone conversation is at least a bare minimum of 45 minutes, at least
uh-huh. Even if it's
every
just a
phone
question about
conversation.
something. Even if it's just a quick question about something. So I'm
I
gonna say this,
traveled
you
17
know,
hours to and from Atlanta, and I want you to know for at least 10 of those hours I was talking to Cory. The other 7 were fluff.
so anyway, I don't say fuck a ton unless I need to or I'm just
Or you're
feeling like
talking
saying
with
it.
me.
But looking
Oh
up,
yes, and you, Wheelman,
mom,
yes.
mom, this is your fault. You were the one. I'm gonna speak to my mother on your podcast, you
Absolutely.
know, in the beyond. Mom, you are the reason that I say fuck the way I say fuck. Because when I was young, you told me, well, it's a valid word in the English language that people need to use when the time is right.
Absolutely.
But while you're this young, try not to use it as much in public and don't use it when there are kids or other kids around. But once you get older, like 18, and especially once you start going to the bars at 21, you're going to hear it a lot and you're going to say it a lot. And the more you drink, you're going to say it even more. Because when I have wine, that's what I do. And that's exactly what mom said to me is when you go to the bars and drink, you're going to say it a lot more. Because
Yeah.
when I have wine, that's what I do. That is exactly what my mother said to me when I was a child. So
That's hilarious. Oh my
that's
gosh.
you, mom. I love you. I miss you so much. Really. Anyway.
Well, what can, as we're really going to tidy up the podcast this time, we'll get to the giveaway
Yes.
afterwards. We're really doing it this time.
Yes.
Okay, guys. So, what can we expect from you other than the album dedicated to your parents? We're going to get some possible real camera streams. What else can we expect from the Cory
I
Legendre?
mean, what more do you want? No,
Everything.
seriously, no, if you could have anything from me. So before I fully answer your question, if you could
Yes,
have
sir.
anything new from me in 2024, and if somebody in the chat wants to say it too, but you most importantly, if
Mm-hmm.
anybody, like if
Mm-hmm.
you could have anything put out by me, any type of content, any type of material,
A rap
not
album.
not pornography because I don't do that.
A rap album.
Sorry guys, you want a rap album?
I want a rap album.
Have you looked at this skin and how white it is?
I want a rap album.
As somebody that's part French Canadian and then the other part is the
If
Cherokee
Weird
Indian. I'm
Al
the
can do
whitest
it, you
Indian
can
out
do
there.
it.
Weird Al is a talent of his own. I adore him. I wish I could be him. I love being a songwriter, but I really wish I could be a parody songwriter. I would love
Yeah,
to do a parody album. I would love to do anything like that.
that'd be fun.
Um, what to expect next year? So, of course, not books by me, but books that I'm curating. I like the books with the artwork. There will be
Hmm.
more. There will be plenty more coloring books. We
That's
have
exciting.
so much more of mom's stuff to go through. No, I know, wee wee. I know. I'm just saying,
Now I leave.
yeah,
Well, thank you, Wee Wee,
you
for coming
know,
in. And thank you for the
but
subs.
no, no, it's like I would be the world's worst rapper. I mean, I give credit to Eminem for being, provocative, interesting, and still managing to do interesting stuff. Not my kind of music.
Mhm.
honestly, no
I think
offense
you
to
could
anybody
do
with
it.
summertime music, but I respect it. I respect it. I enjoy listening to it when it's um
Eddie, owner of the Kick and DBZ Warrior Universe, is on my channel and told me to give you this. Give me what, DBZ? That's our other
you know
entry too. I'm glad you made it. Provocative is sending me, but we feel you, King Cory.
it's not it's not it's as I said, I respect the music. I love hearing small creators that do rap music. And like it's
Hmm.
funny, on Cher's Christmas album, she had Tyga on it.
Yeah.
I mean, Cher had Tyga
Oh,
on
thank you
it.
for the
Okay,
gifted sub, DBZ.
like think about that. Um, Now, would I like to do a pop album next year with some like really robotic fun stuff and some auto tune stuff and have some rappers
Yeah.
collaborate? Yes. Now, me rapping, no, but doing something next year where we have a rapper collaborate. Yeah, no, I love Lauren. I used to do my live shows were like 90% pop and rock music, and then I would have an acoustic set in the middle where just there's no dancers, there's no lights, there's just me sitting there on a stool singing usually pop songs that were turned into acoustic
There we
songs.
go.
You know, so definitely um I would love to do more than one album next year. It depends on my energy. And people are begging me. And it sounds so egotistical to say that. And while I can have an ego, it is possible. I don't like to have an ego. But people have been begging me
I
to
don't
do
believe
a
you.
whole. I don't like having an ego. I don't like it. I don't like it. I hate it. It is the worst thing in the world. Um, but I would love to do an entire Christmas album because people have been asking for it. They said one song's not enough. The reason there was only one song this year is there's only time for one. Next
Hmm.
year, there's a possibility of maybe doing, you know, I would love to see some kick songwriters that might
Yeah,
not necessarily do Christmas music themselves write a Christmas song and hand it to me for the Christmas album. I would love the kick community.
that'd be
If the kick
cool. You can do
community,
like an
okay,
actual like
here's
kick
the
miss
condition.
album.
Here's the condition. If the kick music community writes an album within my vocal range, which you will hear it very much so in the spring, and you've heard it on my Christmas song.
Hmm.
If the kick community wants to write a Christmas album, either they can write like one song, or they can write a song with me, or write a song and perform it with me, or sing it with me.
Hmm.
Any of that. If the kick community by September, October, because you have to put this stuff out early if you want to
Right.
like put out CDs and vinyl. Um, if the kick community can six produce 6 songs that could fit together that I could do vocally,
Hmm.
then I will do a Christmas album. You heard it here, guys.
All
So it's up
right.
to the kick. It's up to the kick music community. If you want a
Okay.
Christmas album, you guys help make it happen, and I will do a Christmas album.
All right. Well,
That's up to you guys.
where can we find you on your socials? I know your Twitter is
Okay.
at Cory Legendre,
Yes. So
and then
Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, Blue Sky, Threads are all Cory Legendre. That's
okay.
CoryLegendre, Cory Legendre.
Okay.
Um, Everything streaming, kick.com/run into you fly, or
Hmm.
runintoyoufly.tv. Um, my website is corylegendre.com, or to go directly to hear presents for everyone, you can go to Cory, CORY .live, LIVE /Christmas.
Okay.
And that'll take you to the Christmas song. And Cory.live, as soon as Christmas is over, will redirect back to my website.
Okay.
So
Perfect.
easy way to get to everything me, because all of the socials are there, the music's there, the website needs a total rebuild.
Yeah.
Because I expect, I mean, again, Christmas album, the starting of the writing happened Thanksgiving night, and we had it out, what was it, like 3rd or 4th of December? I mean, we went
Yeah.
from writing to recording to producing to releasing in less than 10
It was
days.
out by the 3rd, I believe, because that's
Yes.
whenever me and Lauren did our podcast and you were talking about it.
Yeah. Yeah. So
Hmm.
we pulled off a miracle. Nobody, you know, writes, produces, masters, releases, and has radio stations across the country playing it, which is amazing. I've had people text me from different places saying, I heard your song on my local radio.
That's
Okay.
awesome.
But the fact that we pulled all of that off in less than 10 days,
Yeah, it's really
yeah,
impressive.
it does
It's really
not
impressive.
happen like that. And I will admit there's a couple of flaws in my vocals on that song. And people that listen carefully can point them out. Because there was limited time, I did the takes. It was my first recording. I didn't even rehearse it before I started doing takes of it. And it was my first time with a microphone in front of me in 7 or 8 years.
Yeah.
So,
I think you nailed it.
yeah,
I'm really excited about
so
it.
with
And
the
I'm
album for
glad we
Mom and
did this
Dad,
stuff to get it out there too. You know what I mean?
with the album for Mom and Dad, I have a lot more time to get it right. And
Well,
so,
I
like,
for one,
I am being like an asshole about notes. Like, I am like dressed in black when I recorded that. I think I recorded like 30 or 40 takes, not full takes, but like some of them were just parts of the chorus again or
hmm
whatever, because I wanted there to be different options. And I sent it to the person that does the pre-mastering. And they're like, "You want me to listen to 40 different recordings of you doing this?" And I said, "Yes, that's your job. That's your job. Have
well, I
fun."
for one am super super excited for it. I think you're really going to do your parents justice,
I,
and
I hope so.
I'm
I hope so.
I'm excited. Whenever it is released, we'll do a part 2 of this to follow up with you. Um, but with that being said, I'm actually going to go ahead and end the podcast on that note.